Hey, I'm Aja A, and welcome to Sunshine Haze. Don't forget to check out all the links that I have listed down in the description box, and if you like the video, please give me a little thumbs up. If you have any questions after the video is over, feel free to drop them down below. I try to respond to everyone. And if you all know people interested in astrology, numerology, tarot, or whatever I'm talking about on this channel, go on and send them this link. And don't forget to hit subscribe. And of course, thanks for tuning in and rocking with me. May this info help y'all live your best lives. Peace. Happy New Year, happy 2020, happy new decade. I'm Aja A. Welcome to SunshinehazeCo. As you see tarot cards on your screen, it's time for a reading. This is not a new moon reading though. Excuse me. This is your reading for the year 2020. This video is for the Geminis. Please keep in mind this is a general reading. So before I even get started, if you feel like what I'm saying isn't resonating with you, check out your moon and or rising sign, which I do have linked down below in the description box, okay? This is going to be a 5-card spread looking at the overall energy for you. You're going to look at your finances and career, your love and romantic relationships, and also your personal growth. And as always, as a regular for my spreads, I do a soul message, something extra for you to take away with you from this reading, okay? Excuse me. So let's just get started. A really good card to have popping up in the energy, the overall energy for you. You've got affluence. And this is an energy of abundance, or actually being able to harness the energy to tap into abundance. So the first thing that I picked up when I pulled the card was, Gemini, I feel like for you, not to say that this hasn't been, that 2019 wasn't a year where you made money, but I feel like 2019 may not have been as financially successful as some of your other years, right? Maybe you didn't work as much, or maybe you didn't have as many resources, or whatever the case may have been. But I feel like coming out of 2019, a lot of you were in this position or in this headspace to where you're like, okay, it wasn't bad, but it could be better. So with affluence coming up in the position for you, as far as your overall energy is concerned, I think things are only looking up from here, Gemini. I feel like there's going to be opportunities for you to come into wealth, literally come into money, and that could be new job opportunities, that could be opportunities in which you can, you know, work on your own hustles, like your own businesses. You may be coming into some situations to where you're just granted some money or some scholarships or something like that, but this is a year in which you will find yourself coming into a space to where you are a lot more financially, one, responsible, and then two, a lot more financially abundant, because you are changing your habits and changing your ways. With that being said, the energy of this card, the numerical energy, is the number 5. And if you know anything about the number 5, you know it makes me nervous. Specifically when I see 555, but I'm learning that that's not a bad thing. That just is the energy of major change and transformation coming in. So with that being said, the number 5 is the number associated with change, transformation, transmutation of, you know, old energies, and adaptability. And also, although I more associate ascension with 9, but also, you know, starting the ascension into new spaces and new places. So for you guys, whatever you were doing in this past year, or whatever you did in this past year that didn't really work for you, you're going to see 2020 play out to be a year in which you're doing something completely different. And doing something different is how you get different results, right? Y'all always hear me say, if you want to see different shit, you got to do different shit. Like, you have to do the work, you have to make the change, you have to put the energy into making the change in order to see it play out for yourself. And I feel that Gemini, especially because you guys resonate with a very intellectual energy, you're an air sign, you are really going to be in your heads like, yeah, I didn't like not having this amount of money. So we're going to do something different in 2020 because I need my bread. And having that affluence card there, that affluence energy, does tell me that if you decide that you want to do something and that it's going to be a source of income for you, then positively intending it will make way for you to physically manifest it. Okay? Excuse me. All right, Gemini, that's all I want to say about that card. I'm going to go into these cards now. The next one that you have coming up in your spread is in the position of your career and finances. So I guess I am going a little bit further into the affluence. You've got Urzuli La Flambeau, and this is the 7 card, it's a Petro 7, which is the 7 of Wands in this deck, 7 of Fire. The energy that resonates with this card is really kind of like a I can do bad all by myself type energy, and so therefore I'm just gonna do this by myself, and I'm gonna make sure that I don't do bad because I have something to prove. I feel that especially with y'all resonating with that intellectual, that creative energy, I feel like there are things that you want to do or ideas that you may have had in the workplace that either may have gotten shot down, or you just, like I said earlier, may not have had the resources for it in this past year, or you just may have been there may have been some roadblocks along the way for you in regards to what it is that you want to do or what it is that you think would turn out successfully for you. 2020 is going to be a year in which you really don't care about none of that, where you're just like, okay, this is what I want to do, and this, I know it can turn out like this. I know I can make money doing this. I know I can be successful in this field. I know I can get this promotion. And so therefore you're not really worried about what other people are thinking. You're not really worried about what it looks like as far as the things that you're doing. You're just more so focused on, okay, am I doing what it takes in order for me to get to what I need? And I think you'll feel that with this seven. The Seven of Wands in general is a card of really embarking along your own journey, and really, going with what you're passionate about. Fire is the element associated with passion as well. So feel like for you, Gemini, especially because you guys are so creative, I feel like maybe some of you may have been a little stifled over this past year, and I don't know whether that be in the career or in your relationships, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But some of you may have felt a little stifled, or maybe felt a little bit of stagnancy or lethargy around, the moves that you have envisioned for yourself, and the outcomes and the success that you want to see play out for yourself. Maybe some of you have felt like, I don't have the energy for this, I don't have the time for this, or I'm just not really connected with that right now. I'm not really aligned with that right now. And that's okay, because I feel like 2019 was definitely a year of further healing, going back to 2018, that master number energy, but also of really getting your thoughts together. It was a 3-year, and I do associate, even though Gemini is the twins, I associate this Gemini energy with the number 3, because 3 is all about community, creativity, and communication. So if you haven't been doing what it is that you want to do, I feel that, Gemini, you've at least been thinking about it. And when you think about things is the way that you start to plant the seeds of manifestation. So even if you haven't even physically tapped into the shit that you've been, planning for yourself, definitely know that'll be coming up for yourself, for you. What am I trying to say? That'll be coming up for you in 2020, and it's really going to be coming up in a way in which you create these opportunities for yourself. So like I was saying earlier, like you want that promotion, or you want to do this in this field, or you want to start this business, or you want this amount of money. Feel like it's not going to come from any place else but from you, Gemini. So if you want a little bit more money, guess what you got to do? You got to do a little bit more work. You got to work a little bit more hours. You got to you got to do a little bit more commissions. You got to, put yourself out there a little bit more. You got to do what it takes to get what you want. If you want that promotion, you're not really worried about what other people are saying. Oh, she's only been there for so long. Oh, he doesn't even have this qualification. Yeah, that's nice, whatever. But I am doing X, Y, and Z because this is what I want. This is what I'm going to get. And listen, you can back that up. You can back it up because you got the energy here with affluence. So whatever it is that you put your mind to this year as far as your career and your finances goes, Gemini, feel that you'll see it play out very, very successfully for you. However, I will just give you a little bit of insight that it's going to be a lonely road that you tread during this year as far as making the things that you want for yourself happen in the physical. There may be times where people don't support what you're doing, where people don't understand what you're doing. There may be times where you feel like you need help and people either just don't want to give it to you or they're not able to. But try not to be deterred from your goals with this Urzuli La Flambeau and this affluence card. Try not to get deterred, and just understand that that's because the energy you're rocking with this year is an energy for yourself, and that's so that you can lay the foundation for your next decade in doing the things that you want to do. The love, the fun, the happiness, the companionship, all the extra stuff will come in due time, but right now it's time to do your work. It's time to work on it for yourself, okay? Just keep that in mind, Gemini. And so that also, with that being said, you can be a little selfish during this next year. Your energy is precious. Your time is precious. So, you can't go to all the family events, Gemini. You can't go to all of your friends' you know, parties. You can't be at every single thing for this one club that you're in. No, you've got things to do for whatever over here, and you've got to devote your energy to that, because why? Again, you're laying the foundation, and your foundation is something that you want to turn out to be successful, and you during this year have that energy to do so. So you've got to work with it and harness it when you have that time. Okay. All right. Excuse me. Next card in your spread, Gemini, is in the position of your love and your relationships. And when I pulled this card, I was like, what's this about? You've got La Béline, and this is the Congo 4. It's the 4 of Cups, the 4 of Water. And generally the 4 of Cups, 4 of Water in tarot resonates with this energy of discontentment, of, you know, having your cups filled, but not really wanting any of what's in it. You got water, wine, you got some pop here, and then maybe you got a little bit of liquor in this other cup, and you're like, I'm not really feeling that. I think I want a frappuccino, you know, something. I think with some hot chocolate, you know, but you're not really content with what you have or what you've been experiencing. And this is in the position of relationships for you. So I'm going to read this for the singles and for the people in relationships. So for single people, pick up on the sense that some of you Geminis may have been feeling like, you know, you're just not really feeling the single life, or you're just not really feeling the people that you've been getting involved with, that you've been dating. You're just like, this is not it for me. Like, you're cool, it's been nice, it's been fun, it's been real, but there's no connection here. This is just not what I want. And remember, this is a Congo card. Water is all about emotion, connection, and feelings, and love, also spirituality. So I feel like for you single Geminis, you may have been feeling like you haven't been able to find that connection with somebody. And 2020 for you, I think, is not necessarily going to be a year of love. And I'm not sorry to say that. I was going to say I'm sorry to say that, but I've seen like 3 articles or people post a few things about apologizing for things or taking accountability. But my thing is, there's a difference between accountability and saying I'm sorry just because somebody is displeased. So I try not to say I'm sorry when I'm actually not sorry. So I'm not sorry to say that this is not really going to be a year of love for you. This is a 4 card. So this is all about foundation. And if you look at the imagery on this card, there's a little baby whale, and then this whale is like crying. I don't know if she's like giving birth or what. I don't know. I'm not sure. But the energy that I pick up from this is more so, as far as your reading is concerned, like at one point in time, you really having this feeling, or having this connection, or maybe really being into this relationship, or really having this idea of love, but now being in a space to where you really don't resonate with that anymore. And at some times or at some points, it can feel like a little bit of an L, but this card coming up here in this position for you for the year of 2020 is telling me that there's some release that needs to go on here, because there are some changes that need to be made as far as you are concerned, Gemini. And I really pick up on this energy of self-love. You know, we say this about people needing help. You say you can't, or you know, wanting to help other people and not being able to. You say you can't help other people until you help yourself. Well, you can't love somebody else until you love yourself. And this is not to say that you don't love yourself, but this is to say that there's something that needs to be tweaked in the way that you were either treating yourself, or perceiving yourself, or the type of energy that you're calling to yourself or putting out, because what you put out is what you get back, right, Gemini? So this card coming up here for my singles, especially if you've been feeling like you haven't been having that connection, or, you know, you are just tired of being single, it's important for you to understand that, well, maybe the reason you're not having the satisfaction in these interactions, or the reason why, you know, you're not calling in any kind of love to yourself, is because you've got to change some things that you've been doing, or change the way that you're putting out energy, or change the way that you've been making moves, okay? Now, on the other hand, for the people in relationships, this La Béline card, as I was saying, for the singles, there's a little baby whale here. So you are invested. This is a Cups card. You're in a relationship. You're Gemini, which is, when I hear Gemini relationship, that just sounds crazy to me. But, you know, some of y'all are in relationships. You're invested. Your heart is in it. You do have this love. You do have this sense. You do, like, that's your baby. You have put your time and your energy and your soul and your love into this. However, I pick up on a heaviness with this card. So I feel like for some of you Geminis, you're in karmic situations. You're in karmic relationships, and you may not be aware, you may not know this. Or you may be aware, and you may be doing what a lot of people in karmic situationships or relationships do. and they just disregard the fact that it was karmic work that needed to be done and it has been completed, and they continue to hold on because there's this comfortability there, because there's this cord of attachment, right? Some cords we have to cut, Gemini. Some things we have to let go of. Some things just do not serve us in the spaces that we are coming into. You know, there might be a person, or there might be a relationship that you're heavily invested in, or that you have a really strong connection to, that you can't take with you on this path with this Erzuli La Flambeau, that you can't carry along with you because this is baggage keeping you from this affluence energy, right? So for my Geminis in relationship, listen, do not go telling your significant other, look, I watched Aja A's reading, and listen, she told me I don't need to be in a relationship. That is not what I'm saying. I am not telling you to go break up with your people, but I am telling you to take some time, tap into your Gemini, tap into that perceptive energy, and really, really analyze your situation. Is it something that you need to hang on to? Is it something that you can work through, or are you just in a rough patch right now? Are you just in a stagnant moment in this relationship? Or is this something that was, you know, I say reasons, seasons, and lessons learned, and sometimes things are all three. Was this one of those things, or all three of those things? And this is something that's not necessarily meant to be either long-term or longer term that it already has been. You've got this 4 card here, and this is a card of discontentment. So just keeping it plain and keeping it real. Like, this card says that if you're in a relationship, Gemini, you are not happy, or you're not necessarily happy, or you're not happy as you once were. And with this energy, and I do say in my readings, I like to keep it real. I don't like to lie when the cards present messages, because lying could lead you to do some shit that you would not have done if I would have just told the truth about the energy that I was reading, and then I got comments and messages, and I don't have time for that. So I like to keep it real. If you're not into the art of keeping it real, I suggest you check out of the video. But yeah, this card coming up here, if you're in a relationship, literally just comes with this energy of you're not happy, and that could be because you're not happy with that person anymore, or maybe it could be because you want your space, because you want to embark upon this journey, and you don't necessarily feel like the person that you're with is somebody that you should take along with you. And I feel that very strongly coming up for Gemini, because that tends to be just a regular Gemini energy. You guys are not easy to tie down. I have some Gemini friends. I know some people with a lot of Gemini energy. My sister is well, she's a Capricorn, so she's different, but she also, in the same sense, she's Gemini moon and rising. So so like, you guys, it's hard to keep your attention because you have that intellectual energy, and then also at the same time, you guys are air, so you go where the wind blows you, and the wind may have blown you into this situation, but now the breeze has changed and you're blowing in a different direction, and that direction's taking you towards this affluence energy, but it's not blowing homeboy or homegirl with you. And you just, like, honestly, Gemini, you just got to keep it real with yourself. And once you come to that point and understand that, you can take the time to cut that cord, you know, clear that situation out, move on from that situation, and go on and head into that Erzuli La Flambeau energy in regards to your career and finances, and just in general, okay? All right. Next card that I have coming up for you, Gemini, and this is so funny because I did pick these for 3 separate energies, but they also read kind of chronologically. What happened there, kind of chronologically. In your personal growth position, you've got the Dance card, and this is another card of transmutation. Actually, I don't know if I mentioned that in y'all's spread. That might have been the last one, but this is a card of transmutation of energy by way of positive action. Literally dance. Literally, you've got to celebrate the change coming in for yourself. And Gemini, understand that you guys are smart. You know when you're not supposed to be in some shit. You know when people are talking about you. You know what doesn't serve you anymore. I feel that instead of looking at those things as negatives, when you realize these things, and when you have these epiphanies, or when you get rid of these certain energies, instead of looking at these things like an L or like negatives, you should celebrate that you understand these energies and these situations that are transpiring around and for you. This is a card of it carries a very, very high vibration, and it's a very, very positive vibration. In regular tarot, it's the Chariot card, and this is a card of persevering and charging through as well. So there's a lot of change that's going to be happening for you. You've got a 5 card for the overall energy for yourself for this year, Gemini, and there are a lot of things that you're going to be cutting out of your life, or that you're going to be moving on from, not necessarily in a mean, rude, whoa, kick rocks, hit, you know, it's not like that, but you are evolving, Gemini. You are coming into some different shit, and it's good shit as far as you are concerned. And you know, everybody can't have a seat at the table. That's just what it is. There's only so many chairs, and right now you are on a solo lunch date. You done found yourself a little cafe. You done ordered you your plate and your little tea or your coffee or whatever, and your little desserts, and you got your notebooks and your laptop, and you're doing your work. You know what I'm saying? And you're not in a space for other people to bring in their opinions, to bring in their energies. You're in a space to where you're like, no, I'm living my best life. Good things are happening for me. Good things are changing, and they're changing for the better, and I'm celebrating right now. And I just pick up on the sense that this is kind of like a solo celebration cycle for you. 2020 is laying the groundwork, and as I was saying with this La Béline card, you can't love anybody until you love yourself. And so, like, I feel like this is a year of, you know, just developing this new sense of self, and not necessarily discovering the self, just developing this new perception of self, I guess, Gemini, in a way that you get there by doing the things that you know you want to do and that you know you're capable of doing, and just moving away from this being the love position, and in general moving away from the things that you may have once been attached to, but you understand that you were just not in alignment with anymore, and that you can't carry on into this next chapter. And that's okay. It's okay to cut things off. It's okay to let go. Sometimes that is needed. It's needed for you to progress. Baggage can be heavy, and sometimes we carry it around for so long that we don't realize it. And once you put that bag down, you realize how much quicker you can move and get to your destination. So I think it's important for you to put the bag down and dance during 2020. Celebrate your accomplishments, celebrate your achievements, and celebrate the work that you're doing along the way, because you were going to be doing work, baby, with this 5 card here. But everything that you're doing is for a reason. It's for this affluence, this successful, prosperous, abundant energy, okay? All right, y'all. Last card in your spread is in the position of the soul message, something extra for you to take away with you from this reading. And you've got purple, which is developmental clarity. And you've also got 39. I want to talk quickly about the numerology, because we're coming off of a 3-year, going into a 22-year. 2019 was a 3 universal year. 3 plus 9 breaks down to 12, which breaks down to 3. And you've got this message of developmental clarity with this card. So I pick up on this energy of Gemini. As you come into 2020, you've really got to look at what you need to leave behind. And it's okay to do your cleaning up in the beginning of the year, but you've really got to look at what do you need to leave behind in 2019. What people, what situations, what perspectives, what habits, and what energies do you need to leave at the door before you hit the door and step into this new space, new energy of this new decade, the start of it, right? You've got the purple card here. And the message being developmental clarity. I like to do guided meditations. I like to listen to guided meditations. So I think it's important, if you're into that, to do some meditations throughout this year regarding clarity. Also, purple is the color associated with the crown chakra. I'm also getting third eye vibes from this card too, so I'm going to slide into the third eye chakra as well. Do some crown chakra and third eye chakra work, especially in regards to clarity. You should do third eye chakra work. Because I think it's important to get spiritual clarity before you have your overall clarity, if that makes sense. Well, that's just me, but I would work with both as much as you can, your third eye and your crown chakra during this year. So, you know, do those meditations, carry around or wear crown chakra and third eye chakra stones, fluorite, my favorite, labradorite, amethyst, everybody's favorite. I am so biased against amethyst and rose quartz. I do work with them, but because they're so mainstream, I just do not like to promote them. But amethyst is a very powerful stone, so is rose quartz. But rose quartz is not a crown chakra or a third eye chakra stone. Work with some amethyst. You can work with some halite, some danbarite, some Lemurian quartz will be good for clarity. Do some meditations. Those are dope. Yeah, do your research, because I don't know. There's a lot of stones. But yes, Gemini, it's a lot of change happening for you this year, and you're going to be realizing and learning a lot of things about yourself and about the people around you and about the situations that you're in. And by doing so, you're going to be making a lot of different moves and finding yourself to be able to come into this position of dance and affluence. So really positive energy coming up for you for 2020. It's just, there is work that has to be done, Gemini, but I think you'll see that the work, you'll understand it along the way, and that'll make the rewards that you're reaping so much more enjoyable. Okay. All right, y'all, that is your spread. I hope that provided you with some insight. If you feel like you like your own personal reading, feel free to book one with me. You can also shoot me an email. I've got all that linked down below. Check out that 22 universal year video. Talk about the master number energy that we're working with this year. So it's really popping energy on all fronts. I would definitely watch that if you got some time. And I also have a pick a card reading for this decade messages. So for the next 10 years, I'm gonna have a pick a card video. So all of that is linked down below. Check it out. Thank you guys for rocking with me. Also, thank you for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. I'll be putting up a video in like a week or so celebrating that. If you're not subscribed, hit subscribe and hit the little bell so you can keep up with when I do put that video up, and enter if you're interested. And yeah, I think that's it for my shameless plugs. Thank you guys for watching. Peace and blessings and prosperity and abundance and love and all that good stuff for this year and this decade. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.